A few weeks ago, I reached out to our audience, and I got 400 responses to this question right here. Not this one. Or that one. This one. What causes you the most frustration when working with a client who is in pain? Can I ask you guys, I wonder if what you guys, the frustration that you feel is similar to the poll, that the answers I received. Yo.
They have a hard time trusting the process and believing that you have to plan that work for them.
Awesome. Yeah.
Do you know the degree to which their pain is?
Knowing the degree what their pain is?
Whether it's minor or major.
Okay. Knowing the degree what their, so they maybe are, feel a little fear that it could be worse than it is?
Yeah, it might be a minor pain, but they're like, wow, this really, really hurts.
Ah, got it. Yes. Not knowing how to fix it. These things, I'm going to trip on these, by the way. Question for you guys. How many of you guys, if every athlete came up to you and says, I'm willing to do whatever it takes, show me the way to get me out of pain and to my goal, how many of you feel you have confidence in the physicals, in helping them progress physically? Okay. How many feel it's more of a mindset issue? More of getting them in the right mindset? Okay. So, the number one answer that was it is they're not committed to the process. They want to get out of pain fast. They want it to happen overnight. They want to continue pushing their body into positions that are hurting themselves for the sake of reps and to keep this strength. They fear of losing the strength that they have. They fear it. There's other side where people feel that they are, the number two answer is they feel that they are broken, and this is just the way they are. That was the number two response. About 150 people, 150 strength coaches responded to that. And are there any coaches in here that responded, that helped out with that? Anybody? Does anybody even know who the fuck I am? Okay. No one raised their hand there either. All right. Okay. Thank you for your help on that one. It's good. Okay. So that was number two. And then I asked them how it made them feel. Like, in all honesty, guys, can you guys be honest? And when your athletes they're not enrolled in what you believe to be true, like, how does that make you feel? Disrespect? Disrespect in there? Okay. Frustrated? And I'm just curious to gather info because I'm here to help, man. Disrespect, frustrated is the number one answer. Who are you dickhead? So, in the year 2000, I fell into chiropractic, sports injury, and rehab. And I've been in it since 2000. I'll never forget. I'm like, this guy just trusted me. He's like teaching me how to take x-rays when I'm 18. I'm like blasting radiation through people. The x-ray's all white. He's like, you just blasted through them. Like 10-gauge shotgun right through them. Got it. Okay. So I progress. I go into chiropractic because, honestly, it was just on my lap. I didn't know any. I was in a small town in Cortland, Ohio. It was like the most successful person I knew had a sports injury business. That was like the epic, that was like the top of success back then. There's like no social media. I'm doing like dial-up AOL, I think. I didn't know anything else. And so I get into chiropractic. I go to school for it. And honestly, the message never fully resonated with me. But I was in school and it was like, I was with my friends, and they all was like, the chiropractic line the spine, everything heals, this philosophy from 1896. And I'm like, it just never fucking resonated. I didn't know it until like last year. You just like push into something for so long, and it's like you kind of feel that it's not, you kind of feel like you're fucked up, and it's like you're failing. But it really was just It just wasn't the right industry. So whatever, you're like, I'm going to fucking do it. I go to school, and I had a clinic in the year 2009. I graduated and do all the things, active release, TPI, ART, Graston, CSCS, all that shit. Whatever I could do, just grab all the info. And then we had a sports injury clinic. It's called Cali Spine. Cali Spine is Sport. It's still around right now. And we tried to push it and grow into it. And at the time I had an awesome opportunity to be a kinesiology instructor at Cal State San Marcos, which I'm no longer there. Maybe you guys can get an idea of why I'm not the best college instructor at this time in my life. Okay? I didn't quite fit the mold. I gave a commencement speech to 200 graduating seniors, and they were all laughing. I looked over. I'll never in my life forget this. Every one of the professors was doing this. All right. So that's where I met Andrew. And Andrew was one of my first students. And he became a teacher's assistant. And what happened then is he ruptured a disc in his low back. 10 millimeter herniation right, 8 left. And I thought, I'm Dr. Mike, I can heal. I got these adjustments and tools and all this shit. And none of it fucking did anything long term. And I was like, so I taught him everything I knew about movement. I taught him everything I knew. And I still didn't connect all the dots I thought I knew, but I still didn't have this transformation, these steps that I'm going to share with you guys today. I taught him all these things. Don't try this exercise. Try this. First of all, there's no fucking trying. And it didn't work. And 3 surgeons said he needed surgery. And he has an uncle who was disabled. 5 back surgeries. The guy lives on a morphine pump right now. Just miserable. Low back pain, #1 cause of disability in the world. What is it, 60% of people that get one surgery get another? Why? Because the fucking underlying problem is still there. You can't just trim off the symptoms and expect them to be better. So I taught him what I knew, but Andrew's, if you guys follow us on MoveU, like I said, I don't think anybody knows who I am yet. But he's the dude in the videos who, he's got incredible movement with his body. But he learned it because he had to. Because he had himself in a fucking corner where he had no choice but to get out. And I learned, that's another thing, is learning the power of putting yourself in a corner, especially trying to be the best you can and lead your own life. It's like how to actually force yourself in a corner to fight out. We'll get into that. So Andrew literally learned how to disassemble the body based on what I taught him, and he knows more about movement than I do at this point. He learned to disassemble the body into individual pieces and rebuild it from the ground up. And we had a little luck. Last year, a company called MMA Leech. I've been putting out videos for like 7 years, about Instagram videos. Last year, we got a little luck. MMA Leech shared one of our videos. It hit 5 million views in a day and a half. And it was a fucking sign, because when I started Cali Spine, the whole purpose was to help people recover from low back pain. And this stretch, called this QL stretch, that I made up. I know I didn't. I just never seen anybody do it. Our logo was this. And that stretch, our logo was that, and that stretch, I'm just going to stay here for the rest of the speech. That stretch, that video got shared by MMA Leash, hit 5 million views in like a couple days. And I go, that's it. It was that point I'm like, you guys ever felt like, I don't know about you guys, but it looked like I was succeeding on the outside because we were making money and doing well, but I knew inside it wasn't, despite. And it's just like, and so I'd like turn to hobbies like free diving, jiu-jitsu, all this stuff is like distractions. Then I was just like, that's it. It's enough. It's over. We're fucking doing this. And I contact MMA Leash. I go, send them to our website. Send the traffic to our website. And I called my web developer. I said, put up something that says, sign up for low back pain courses. And we had 1,000 people sign up in 2 hours. Well, we had no fucking course. It's no course. But I did. I'm like, I made a video for them. I go, guys, look, I didn't see that coming, okay? But I gave them VIP I took care of them. An audience and a product. Well, we had audience and, okay. But this is what, the point after what I'll describe to you, and then we're going to get into this, by the way, this talk is called Empower, it's called, what the fuck is it called? Rethink Pain, how to empower people to take ownership of their own body. And this is some stuff, we're going to go over 3 things to put in place first, and son of a bitch, it is unfucking believable what happens. Throughout my experience, through the books I read, through my mentors, there's other ways, I'm sure, but I'm going to go over a way that we found to work. And we work with hundreds of thousands of clients, and we work very closely with 1,000 clients from 49 countries right now. Very closely with them. What was I? Who are you, dickhead? We're still there. Oh, so at that point, this video goes crazy, and I go, I'm going all in. I'm like shutting my life down. That's it. There's no social life. There's no girls. There's no family for a while. And I made this post, and I just said, I'm going somewhere, guys. I got to do this for myself first and foremost. I got to just see, I just know I'm meant for more than this. I know I can do it. And I looked at our team of people, and it's like, I didn't see anybody else in healthcare doing it. I just saw a broken fucking system. It's like you look at research, you're more likely to enter healthcare and exit worse than get better. What the fuck? I mean, all of healthcare is symptom-based. When I say all of it, let me say majority. Because it's dictated by insurance. There are tons of exceptions of people doing great jobs, but they're so far and few between that I couldn't support the industry anymore. So we fucking left and just formed MoveU, its own independent company. We're a startup company. And we empower people to take ownership of their body and lead a passionate life. And we teach the physical skills and the mental skills to help them do that in an educational format. I just didn't see anybody else doing it. You look at the original people like Facebook, like Zuckerberg, he's like, people with more money than us, but he says, we just thought that we cared more. That's how we feel. I look at our team of people, and I'm like, we got 5 of us. It's like, why not us? Like, what the hell, where else does this shit start from? You look at the beginning of Apple and Google and all these other companies, they're all in fucking garages. That's where they start. And so I just went a year and a half and we spent all last year building the program, the one that I thought and believe is going to change the world and just really make a difference and just teach people what I've always wanted to say, but I couldn't speak it because I had surgeons referring me people and this PT sending me someone and this, so this like voice, just like, it goes through filters and you're just another brick in the wall. But there's no filters anymore. And it feels really good. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, and I learn from you guys, and I learn from everybody, and I know this stuff will change, but there's some awesome things that I'm going to go over with you guys. All right, we're done with this one. Guys, this is something I did not know until now. To inspire people to take ownership in their body, what is it? Tommy Lasorda says there's 3 types of people. There's people who make it happen, there's people who watch it happen, and there's people who wonder what happened. And if you're making it happen, there's shit going on. It's not easy. You're in the field, making it happen, putting yourself in uncomfortable positions, pushing into discomfort, like don't know if something's going to work, taking leaps. I mean, that's how learning comes from, is from those successes and failures. And not that mediocrity of just being another trainer, being another chiropractor. It's like everyone's different. It's like Albert Einstein. He'd say, everybody's a genius, but if you judge a fish by his ability to climb a tree, he'll live his whole life feeling stupid. And it's like, how many people out there are just in the wrong thing? And once they just plant in this new soil here, it's just like fucking grows. What I found is like, you got my dad, it's like, I don't know, you guys have like parents that are just unhealthy and just like, what, come on. You're like, I want to help you, I'm trying. And I got a cousin who was like just stagnant and just like, I'm like, come on, Ryan, move, you can do it. And I have an aunt who I haven't talked to in like 3 or 4 years, my Aunt Vicky. Barely. And I'm like, oh. And so I'm like, I just ignored, what I did was I just put everything aside and just built this thing. And we launched in January, MoveU, and it's just blown up. It's crazy. This guy's crazy. I can't keep up with it at this point. But what's interesting, I never saw this happening. My dad now, he's in the MoveU program, loving it. And I'm like closer with him than ever. My aunt, who I didn't talk to, she just joined the program. She's killing it. My cousin just started his own business with this. He said it's all inspired by me. But I had to sacrifice all that stuff. And I didn't know they were going to come behind, start doing it as well. And it's awesome. It takes months, though. It's like you do it for yourself, and it's like they start to follow. So number one, inspiring your athletes and people to take ownership. And this is about pain, by the way, because it doesn't. Pain is necessary. Pain is necessary. Guys, it's like, when the hell, okay, I'm calling total bullshit 98% of the time that healthcare says pain is bad. Why is pain bad with your body, but it's not bad in other areas of life? It's like, if you avoid pain, you're just mediocre. It's like, pain is growth. Pain in the body is a signal. That's what it is. It's just a sign. It's just a sign that something needs to change. That's what it is. And one of our taglines is rethink pain. Pain is a signal from the body that it's time to change, that something is wrong. And it's actually, people want to be pain-free. That's the worst goal on the planet. The people that are pain-free can't feel, they're the ones that stick their hand in the stove. Hey, Uncle Teddy, look at me, I can't feel shit. Who wants that? Pain is growth. Here's what we've discovered. So, a big difference of education versus instruction. Whenever I had a clinic, I was instructing people. This is what's wrong with you. This is your posture analysis. Your pelvic tilt is forward. This and that, instructing them. This is what you must do. And we've totally shifted to education, which is showing people a set of principles and letting them self-discover. It takes a little more patience, but whenever they have a breakthrough, it lasts. They ratchet up. It's a ratcheting up. You can never go back. The only shit that goes, people worry about yo-yoing and stuff. Anytime you get a treatment, I mean, think about pain, for example. Anytime who else is in control of your life? It's like if you, lottery winner, 70% file bankruptcy in 3 years. Yeah, no shit, you didn't work for it. You don't know how it works. Surgeries, why do they fail? Well, you didn't do shit. No one can take your problems away from you. Are you crazy? And if you rely on someone else for your success, you're setting yourself up for failure too. It's your body, period. No one is ever going to know your client's body and your body like you. It's not going to happen, ever. No one's going to care about it as much. No one's going to know it as much. So, through education and not instruction is how we currently practice. And it's a different... I thought I was educational before, but I was instructional. But there is physical training that happens with pain. Currently, movers in the program, what's really interesting is the transformation. They get excited now when a pain pops up because they now are excited to attack the weakness and turn it into a strength rather than fear it. If people are afraid of pain, they fear the unknown. It's just like afraid of the dark. They're just afraid. If they're afraid, they don't know what to do. They go run into a doctor, this and that. It's an instant gratification, immediate mindset that tends to like fog over this deeper purpose that we have. And by leading from the front and understanding the pain is processed, it allows you, the coach, to pierce an arrow through that outer layer of instant, I need out of pain now, I need out of this emergency mindset, oh, I'm broke, I'm this and that. It allows you to pierce an arrow through and hit them right in a spot that allows them to look at you and go, all right, now what's... They go, what's the path? What's the path now? And this is the setup phase. Right? So you got them right now. Guys. You guys may not want those, I don't know, whatever makes everyone happy. It's different for everybody. But I know that, I'm certain that moving towards what you love and are passionate at and believe to be true, regardless of what your family or friends think, what are you moving towards that is leading from the front. And now what occurs then is you're able now to, this path is much easier. Leading from the front and laying it out, it's a lot easier to describe it when you're already freaking walking and describing to your client who's back there, these are the steps to take. Because if you can illuminate, and I'm learning this, guys, this is so powerful. It's like the more clearly you can illuminate a path for somebody to where they want to go, the more easier it is for them to walk it. And in super simple terms. Like, what is it? Theodore Roosevelt, the Rough Riders, he talks about leading from the front. And, he's like, there's two types of leadership, right? You can lead from the back, you're on the microphone, you're planning strikes, or you lead from the front. Where Theodore Roosevelt, Rough Riders, he's in the front line, he's leading bolts of wisdom over his head, he's leading from the front. But allow that leader, that's from the front, the people in the back, he can describe now the path to get to where he is. And it doesn't have to be pain. It's like, because getting out of pain is no different. It's the same process. It's the same thing as learning a language or playing an instrument or learning how to do a snatch or whatever process in your life you struggled through to get there. That's the same process as getting out of pain. It's no different. It's no fucking different. Guys, pain occurs after thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of repetitions gone wrong. So, McKinsey research. Right now, what we're doing is we're talking about the path, but we're going to add some physical skills right now. So, what's this called? Yeah. Okay. So, to a degree, do you know how many times a day do we hip hinge? To a degree. That's one. This is one. That is not one, by the way. How many times a day on average do we hip hinge? What do you guys think? A couple dozen? 30? So McKinsey research shows 3,500 times a day. To a degree. I mean, you're just like, this is like 2, 3, 4. Let's just focus now on part of the physical skills. Laying out the path to them could be, now that you have their attention, laying out the path, if you feel you have the physical skills to help them, then it's just about them enrolling in the process and being excited about the journey. It's it then. You've got it. Because then they discover and go. So you may be good right here. But laying out the path, it starts with people understanding that pain it takes hundreds of thousands, 2 million reps, so 10 years. It takes about 10 years, a study I read, about 10 years for a disc to show degenerative changes after mechanical problems, about 10 years. So doing the math, that's 3,500 hip hinges a day done incorrectly. Right? If you wear out a disc, if you go into, this is, well, what's this? Posterior tilt, anterior. Disc injuries occur, posterior tilt, mostly. Yeah, but sometimes the anterior, all right, I know you technical guys, I get it. Jesus Christ. You always got the technical people, I get it. So that's 2 million incorrect hip hinges for a disc to show degenerative changes. 2 million. A problem occurs because because your client will often think and relate it to, oh, it was a deadlift. I did a deadlift and it hurt it. They'll relate it to one particular exercise. I picked up a pencil, I picked up this, I picked up that. But the problem with that is it completely disempowers them because they associate it with that one event. They're disempowered. So it's just like, oh, it was just that one rep. There's nothing that needs to change. It was bad luck. It was one bad rep. It was bad this, it was bad that. But pain occurs, okay, check this out. Here's a line. Okay, all right. This line below here is pain and no pain. Okay? And this is like you're teetering here. We're on the edge. This is pain-free, by the way. If anyone wants to pain-free, and this is like being a professional athlete, becoming a professional golfer, Olympic. That's up here. Pain-free is the saddest goal on the fucking planet. It's one step above minimum wage. What's minimum wage? $11? Congrats, you hit your goal. You make $11.01. Congratulations. Go buy a six-pack of Milwaukee's Best Light. So this is like, I'm not going to get so much into goal setting with people with this talk, but pain-free is like a dot above. So I'm sure you see your clients yo-yoing. They go up and down. They go up and down. Oftentimes it's because they don't have a goal. They're just maybe too embarrassed that they forgot that goal. Oh, I'm sidetracking here. All right. So we got our line here. This is somebody fucked up. Like 5 back surgeries, bad. They're not doing well. And this is like somebody doing amazing. Pro golfer, feeling great, athletic, feels good. This injury, the same progression, there's one path to the top of the mountain. That's it. So now, this person who has 5 back surgeries, or this person who's just in a little bit of pain, it's the same damn process to get out. But this person, the worse they are down here, the more pain, just the longer it's just going to take. But what else are you going to do? You can be down here and just work to shut off the symptoms with drugs, with surgeries, with treatments. Some are beneficial. But to tell you the truth, one reason I stopped adjusting people is because pain is one of the best motivators on the planet. People stop their life because they're in pain. And it's like an opportunity for them to use pain to motivate, to drive them away. And by adjusting somebody, I found, it's like it just gives them such quick relief, they forgot about they're not motivated anymore. They think, oh, I just need a couple adjustments and I'll do this, but we find it to be completely opposite with that. I don't adjust people now until they're up here. We don't even see patients anymore. I see people at the grocery store, like they're like, oh, I need to set an appointment with you. I'm like, dude, the ship sailed, man. You're screwed. But this process of building, in this process we found of getting people to this level, it starts with them really going through a discovery phase about what they really want to do with their life. Because it's easy to stop a goal. Oh, I want to deadlift 100 pounds. Oh, okay, awesome, or deadlift 300 pounds. It's pretty simple to start to just accept that for them. But we have a game that helps them shut off the past from the future. It's a game we developed called Can I Am. And it talks about things that hold people back. There's a line. Actually, you know what? Let's focus more on the mechanical. Do you guys want to know? Do you guys want to focus more on the physical side, the skills, or do you guys want to go on goal setting? What do you guys think? What we found worked. Goal setting? You guys feel pretty good physically, helping people? Let me ask you guys a question. What's the purpose of doing a pelvic tilt? Body awareness, how so? Okay, body awareness. What's the purpose of this in relation to how people live their life throughout the day? Not when they're with you, when they're away. What's this? Stability. By the way, 70%, here's a stat for you by GEIA Fit. 70% of people drop out of their physical therapy after their 3rd visit. That's how well that works. Most of the time, people don't know why they're doing this. Why are you, do you guys have them pelvic tilt and do that, cat-cow? Do you guys have them do that? No? Deadlifts? No one has them do that? Okay. So here's some cool stuff for you then. I've measured the pelvic angle of over 4,000 people. 4,000, and almost all of them come in the office with a pain. 4,000 people. We found that 70% of people live their life in anterior tilt, 30% posterior. Do you guys know a number? So that's from the anterior superior iliac spine to the posterior superior iliac spine. You measure with a caliper, all the shit, right? 70% are here. From living their life in this position, what symptoms will tend to sprout up from being in anterior tilt? What's this? Okay, tight hip flexors. Not generally a symptom, maybe more of a sign. What do people feel as pain from being in anterior tilt? Okay, low back pain, but specifically, there's types of low back pain. There's SI joint pain, there's facet joint pain, there's stenosis, there's disc pain, there's hip impingement. Facet joint. Wait, I don't know if I need this. I just like you guys see our videos, I always have a stick with me. It's just like, it just feels warm inside when I hold it. Okay. So when I say live their life in posterior tilt, I'm not talking they're in the gym in anterior tilt. This is how they live their life. They walk like this, they run like this, they squat like this, they take a shit like this, they sleep like this. They're in this position constantly. And so are the discs on the front of the spine or the back? Where are the discs at in relation? Joints are where and disc is where? Joints are posterior, discs anterior. Pretty simple. Okay. All right. So, whoosh, joint. With me? This is joint. And this is how they're going to squat like this. They're going to deadlift like this. SI joint pain. That's impingement. That's pinching through here. When people lean back, they get a zap. Here's one. Hip impingement. Huge. I've never seen, and that's Madeline. She actually sent us a message. He got all mad about on Instagram. I said hip impingement. I was a little bit dogmatic with what I said to her. But we've never seen a case of hip impingement where the person, they're always in anterior tilt. We're 100 out of 100 so far with that. Maybe we just see a certain 100 people that were underneath some radiation. I don't know. This anterior tilt position, the reason is because when someone drops into a squat in this position, it brings the femur head closer to the acetabulum, the ring, and eventually they get impingement, which is pretty simple. People get deep squat, they get pain right here in front. They mistaken it with hip flexor pain. They think hip flexor pain. I've rarely seen that hip flexor pain. Impingement is something you just bring the leg up here. But all of that, all those symptoms, facet joint pain, stenosis, impingement, all that comes from one central root. It's mechanics. The principles have been unchanged since, was it Giovanni, the father of mechanics, in 1680, his first book? This shit hasn't changed, guys. It's a cool book. You should look it up. So anterior tilt, this is what they get. So do you guys know a neutral pelvic angle for, do you guys know any idea what it is for measurement? Average for men, normal, neutral? So 12 degrees men, about 11, 12 degrees men, about 13 degrees women on this. But 70% of people in anterior tilt. Let me ask you this. Is the glute more active when it goes into posterior tilt or anterior? Right. What's the function of the glute in relation to the knee? What does the glute do to the knee? Specifically, externally rotates. Mm-hmm. Right, people think glutes extended, right? But there's fibers, right? External. Most knee injuries are caused, what occurs to the knee that causes most knee injuries? What type of rotation? Internal rotation. Plato's quote I live by, the part can't be well unless the whole is well. And this is why one of the great misunderstandings is focusing on the individual part to help the person. It almost never works. That's what healthcare does. Knee pain, knee exercises, knee strength, it almost never works. It never will work. Okay, so glute inactive, anterior tilt, knee turns in, and then what occurs to the foot? it collapses. So you get this whole sequence that occurs. This is what people come. And Madeline talked about this yesterday. How's your foot? Yeah. She had Morton's neuroma surgery about 5-6 months ago. That's in between the toes. And last night, how'd you do with activating your foot?
It was great. I was bracing the floor with my foot.
Were you?
Yes.
Bullshit. But there's this set of underlying mechanical principles that once you help the person learn these sequentially, it's now a deeper layer of their movement, and they're aware of it. And one of the misunderstandings is that it's only done in the gym. And this is a concept where you ask anybody successful, all my mentors, success starts when you open your eyes, and it ends the second you hit the bed again. And everything in between fucking matters. And why isn't it like that with the body? It is like that with the body. And this is one of the misconceptions, is to get this through to your clients, is that every step of your day matters. Every single step. Every step you take out of bed, the foot is connected. The pelvis is in neutral position. And that is an awareness that we learn to help them discover the path is to help them improve the way they move through education. So we teach them foot gripping, how to grip the ground with the foot, what the purpose is. Glute strength. Help them squeeze the glute, and help them discover what happens with the knee. Individual pieces, like learning how to play a piano. You learn each key, then you learn the chord, and then you learn an easy song. But once you get it all, something magical occurs. The person's free to write their own music, and it's fucking beautiful. They take it and apply it to every area of their life. But the same process to get them out of pain is the same way you would learn a language. It's the same way you would learn a new instrument, a new skill like lacrosse. The same process to get them out of pain, it must be that way. It's a fucking journey to get out. And it's actually, they love the process because it's the process of being the underdog and being injured and being the sidelines and getting them to learn through it and excel. The whole life improves through proper movement. How are we doing on time? What? Oh, I have a...
Yeah, we're perfect.
We're perfect.
Perfect.
It's flat circle. You guys like that pelvic tilt stuff? Okay. So there's three types of tilt. There's four. There's anterior tilt, there's posterior tilt, and there's pelvic torque, which is really interesting. Torque is when there's more than 2 or 3 degrees separation between the two. This is interesting. I don't know why. I was talking with Greg Cook about this. That every person I've ever measured has 2 or 3 degrees more anterior tilt on the left than they do the right in relation. Every single person. I've only seen them equal twice, and they were fucked up. And once they improved, then they became normal and 2 degrees different. So let me ask you this. When somebody's in posterior tilt here, posterior tilt, how are they going? What is their forward bend going to look like? Let me ask you, let me rephrase that. Does the person in anterior or posterior tilt have a better hip hinge? Yeah, it's anterior. In an anterior tilt position, they're going to hip hinge. Posterior tilt, what are they going to do? Every freaking time. And what is being compressed here? The disc, right? Because the back is, it's easy, guys. The back is joints, this joints, and that's discs. And so that's going to be the way they deadlift. And yeah, are they going to hurt themselves deadlifting? Yeah, probably. That's probably what's going to happen because they're already here. They're already bending incorrectly. Now, if you just add load, you're just accelerating the time it's going to take them to get hurt. It's not like the deadlift hurt them. But we found what's really interesting about torque, and just last week, we have, I can't say her name, but everybody knows her. She's one of the top fitness trainers in the world. She was at our office, and we were working with her. And she had about 10 degrees torque between her hips. The only way we've ever found is teaching people helping them individually activate each muscle first. Squeezing the glute first, squeezing the other glute. Now applying that into a bridge position. Now applying that into a lunge. and then applying it into a squat. I just progressed you guys for like a month right now. But the only way is to get them to activate that muscle first, that right muscle, and that gets them in position to be able to train. Because you guys, I'm sure, just want to fucking train them. Hold on, guys. I got wires like everywhere. I'm getting choked from the side. Help me. Good enough. But this path that I speak of, it becomes so clear after you've done it yourself. And that's the stuff, I don't know if you guys follow MoveU Official on Instagram. This is what we teach the fundamental movements. And we try to make them fun and entertaining. Half the people I'm learning half the people won't like us anyways, and half will, so. But this path occurs, especially if you guys trainers out here have injuries yourself that you're dealing with. How the fuck do you expect to help your client if you haven't improved yourself? It just depends on how good you want to get, how good you want to be for yourself. But this path, for them, the main purpose, the main point that I wanted to help you guys to understand today really is that moving towards what you believe and love yourself, what everyone says you should do. Just do just break free from that shit that you don't love and just move towards it. It inspires everybody. Every person. And number two is that through that process is learning that pain is, it's right, it's real, it's supposed to be there, it's part of who we are. We're designed to feel pain and have pain. Pain creates an obstacle in front of us, and now it allows you to use your brain and think and maneuver around it through learning yourself and not relying on some expert telling you what to do. And when you get around it, you're empowered. You ratchet up your progress. You ratchet up, you're forever better. You can never go back. What Oliver Wendell Holmes, man's mind, once expanded by a new idea, never returns to its original condition. Boom, breakthrough. And through this whole journey of doing it yourself, for yourself, so you can inspire others, because the more you improve yourself, like we do dumb shit. Andrew and I take improv comedy classes. I do stand-up comedy classes. It's not showing today, but like in this, I'm learning that the more we improve ourselves, the more of an impact we can make. And it feels good. And then along that, you can now see this path that you've walked. It's like you're like walking, you're like kicking shit, you're just solid down on the ground, right? You're getting up. And then you got your client and you're telling them, that's cool, man, I get it. Come on. You can do it. You can learn yourself. Because you've empowered yourself. You're living it. And they feel it. What is it? You're the sum of the 23 people you hang out with, whatever the fuck it is, 6, 12, 9. But it's like you're that person to your client. You're that inspirational person to them. And now they become part of you. They become that. It's like a energy, it's like a something, chemistry, energy, I don't know yet. But that path's so easy to tell them how to do when you're in front. Rather than you're all messed up yourself trying to say, hey, just go this way. It's just not going to work. They're not going to do it. And I learned that frustration is not the frustration of the client. I learned it's actually myself unable to communicate with them. That's what I learned to be true to myself. So, and just to give you guys an idea of what it looks like is we created the MoveU program. What that path that we put together for them, just to give you an idea, it's about 170 instructional 3 to 7 minute videos, progressive, starting people with exercises that are as basic as they're safer than putting on shoes and progressing them up to being able to do a snatch after maybe even a year of work. We don't even get into squatting with people until phase 2, which is at probably month 5 is when they start squatting again. Just to give you guys an idea about progression. And through that journey, they learn patience, and they really appreciate patience. They own it. They own it themselves. Andrew and I talked to her at Shelter, like, how is this working so well? Like, we didn't see us coming like this. We started an exercise program. Now the mindset's coming up. But so this journey is like, and they'll post, guys, I'm so grateful as well for CrossFit as well, because I've been such a supporter of CrossFit, and I've loved the community, and the community is inspired. We built a community in the MoveU program. So right now we have 1,000 people from 40 countries or 50 countries that are all uploading videos and working together, and it allows us a platform to have weekly coaching calls. But that community was inspired by the power of CrossFit, because that community is so amazing. But that community is where we learn from as well about the successes, and people are learning from their own successes and failures and bonding together. And that's going to be a whole different talk about other areas to get clients to keep them engaged, because we learn to keep them connected. It's like, yeah, they wear the MoveU shirt. There's weekly coaching calls. They watch us every day on Instagram. There's podcasts in there. They talk with each other. They meet with each other. They see us every day during the video. It's just connected. It's just like the more you see it, the more you're going to do it. So it takes people a year to get through the first phase of the program right now. And it's interesting. The program is, we don't do a monthly or anything. It's a one-time fee. And what's really cool is that it's $1,000 to get in the program, and we have a 1.8% refund rate request. It's like, and I ask people, why is nobody refunding this? I mean, everyone does. They go, well, because the way you guys talk make me feel it's my responsibility. So my job is to like help figure out how do we do that, and then to help you guys do that as well with them. Because I know that I share, hopefully something connects with you guys, that you guys will share stuff with me, and then we'll all grow together and succeed together, because we all can. And, oh yeah, I got another slide. Help me. It's good. Where are we at? One of the checkpoints we got into was pelvic tilt. We touched on feet. We touched on that. It's a different topic. Maybe on Sunday will depend, but maybe we'll do, I don't know if I'll present Sunday, but we will do all physical, practical stuff. We'll hit the 6 checkpoints. If you guys are interested, and I don't know if the timing is right. Yeah, we call these 6 checkpoints to help people. These are instant ones. These are checkpoints to maintain throughout the day. Like, this is 24/7. This is if people want to be amazing. These are the alignment points to keep mechanics very simple. Albert Einstein says, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. And I spend most of my life just translating complex information and trying to make it easy for everyone. I was hanging out with Greg Cook and all these guys. I didn't even know what the hell they were talking about the way they were speaking anymore. I was like, I forget that language. Oh yeah, thank you guys very much. But I do want to give a special thanks to is John around?
He's back in.
He is?
He's organizing his thoughts.
John is awesome. And he found us on Instagram. He drove an hour and a half to our office last year for like once a week. And he invited me up to his home. And he's been working with me, helping me, get MoveU going. And he's taught me a lot. It was awesome to hang out with you guys on the podcast as well. And man, you guys invited me down here, dude. So thank you so much.
Hey, you're welcome, buddy. We just need a little more energy out of you next time.
And seriously, thank you guys for listening too. And yeah. Please, oh yeah, question time.
Stand by.
Can you go back quickly and talk about cat-cow? Because you mentioned that at the beginning as something that you have clients do, but you didn't say why.
Oh yeah.
So I'm curious to know, is it somebody mentioned, just body awareness, but
yeah.
Is it beyond that? Is there a rehabilitative aspect?
Okay. So cat-cow primarily is to help you align your pelvis in a neutral position. And it's a lot easier to do a non-weight bearing on the ground, on hands and knees. It's a lot easier to do it there, especially when people that have pain. And there is some circulation benefits, but that's not what we teach it for at all. Is this position here is to train people on to find their pelvic neutral. So anterior all the way posterior, find your middle. And then we teach people to lock their core down. And then from there, they can move to a kneeling position to find the neutral in here. But the whole time the main purpose to teach people is help them understand why they're doing this in standing. Because whenever they find that neutral position, that pelvic neutral angle, this is a position they start with learning how to stay when they walk. Because if people are taking too long of strides, they're whacking into anterior tilt. Guys, if someone has a joint pain, they are slapping into that thing 1,000 times a day somehow. They just might not feel it. And they may blame their bed, or they might blame, oh, I need it. Guys, if your back is healthy, you sleep on a bale of fucking hay. So this position, and now what happens, it occurs from finding this neutral, is to now start to add load to it. Right? After neutral, maybe it's kettlebell here. And maybe you're working to maintain that neutral position throughout the hip hinge to start with. And then maybe add a little resistance maybe with the lunge. But that pelvic neutral position, it sets, that's where we start with MoveU and get people into that position, because it's like the center point between the top and the bottom. And from there, we kind of equally go up and down from that. Because if they're neutral, the glutes are more engaged, the knees are more likely to stay in external rotation, the foot arch is more supported. It just sets everything up in the top and the bottom correctly. If someone's in too much anterior tilt, what's going to happen is the back is going to want to shoot back, and then the head wants to shoot forward. So does that answer your question with pelvic tilt? Is to teach them how to properly is to show them how to hold their pelvis in a neutral position, and then how they would use that throughout the day. And if they lose it during the day, they just aren't educated enough yet. Because when people really get it, they stay connected with it 24/7. You guys have other questions? I kind of went past, I hit some physical stuff at the end. Yes.
Could you share that goal setting exercise? I've got a lot of clients that just want to be pain-free.
Got it. Okay. Here's what I'd like to do. I took a video of that. It's a 12-minute video. I have it all laid out, and I'd like to share a link with you for that. It's a super fun game called Can I Am. It makes it really fun, goal setting, instead of like, okay, well, name your 5-year goal. It's fucking boring. Okay? But what it does really is it helps them separate the past from the future, the past from today. People, my back hurts, it's just always this and that. No, your back is hurt in the past. That past is the past. You control how you think today. So it helps them, all the shit that they said in the past, it came from this injury, my back hurt from this injury, or they're blaming this chiropractor adjusted my back and hurt me. Whatever it is, all this stuff, the game helps them clearly separate that the past is the past and the present that's the Gandhi quote, right? Your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits. Your habits become your values, and your values become your destiny. And so these things, just helping them separate. And you will hear people bleed the past. Oh, I know I'm late. I'm always late. I've always been late. I've been late in the past, but I'm taking some steps right now to improve of that. Even cutting it off is the start of the trickle effect to your destiny. According to Gandhi. I tried to read his book. I couldn't relate with him. He talked about being a vegan for 3 chapters. I gave up. I tried. Other questions, guys? Yes?
Yeah, so you said, keeping your clients engaged and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
What, I guess my question is, how do you keep that standard and then reach out to them and say, hey, I want you to ask these questions and things like that? Because when I put stuff out, I never get any feedback. They're not asking questions that I want to hear. You said you want to educate them. What's the best route? How do you do blogs and all that good stuff? How do you really get them?
Well, I'll share with you what worked for us. Is that I learned that we are a video company. It's like we do best on video. That's how we do best. Some people do best with writing and video. So I know video is our best channel, and I enjoy improving my ability to speak on video. So our video, what we do is we do a coaching call every week for the movers in the program. And about 60% watch it. So it's a weekly coaching call, and we go through a format, we go over, and it's always a mindset piece in there. I mean, and we've learned from the people who say, you guys got to read some of these testimonials. They're crazy. It's like all 5 stars. People are talking about life. I mean, it's like life-changing shit. It's amazing. I'm like crying every day reading these things. I'm like, how the fuck is this happening so well? But the point is that every week it's an hour-long coaching call, and it's a mindset piece where everyone's in a private Facebook community, and they tune in on it, and it's available afterwards as well. And we also send it out in an email. So they get an email that goes, hey, the coaching call's up. So that goes to everybody, and through the Facebook group that there is the live coaching call. And so they ask questions in there, and there's always, it's a mindset piece. And we've learned from people who are succeeding, saying those become, without those, I don't know if I would have maintained the motivation to get through that initial painful part. It's like it takes energy at first to change a habit. And there's a great book called Switch, How to Change When Change is Hard. That's a good book. Really good book. But that coaching call, they said it serves to be them a motivation every week, just to give them enough juice to keep grinding through that initial period where there's kind of uncertainty before they break through into it becomes a habit that they embrace. And we found generally that takes about 30 days in a row for them to break, because this isn't twice a week. This shit, they're doing it every day. There's no other way. It just won't work the other way. I've tried it. I tried to tell people what they think they wanted to hear. Yeah, try this stuff for 5 minutes a day. It just doesn't work. Not to help them, not if they really need to change. They're good. And so, yeah, the email, that works. What else with motivation has really helped? They like podcasts. So we interview someone who succeeded, and then that is available to the movers inside the program. So they listen to their own fellows, because there's different types of learning. There's learning from an expert, which is us teaching, and there's learning from people who are just a few months ahead of them. So we make sure both types of learning are in the program. And we found them to be equally successful. I'm learning it's less about what I do now, and it's more about all the components. I don't think I'm as special as I thought I was with this. Other questions? Yeah, what's up?
Coming by.
Do you find that yoga is something that people can also look to for a lot of the same sort of core movement principles?
No.
No.
I think Pilates is probably the closest. With yoga, and I train yoga. I go once a week myself. But yoga is usually in a group setting. And I tell you, we have a lot of yoga athletes in the MoveU program. And we find that once again, they'll run through the movements in class, but they don't quite understand about the purpose of those in life. I feel one of the I have a hunch that one of the missing component, you guys are going to see the norm in 5-10 years, is that helping people apply these movements to every area of their life is going to be a missing link, because we find it to be very successful right now. And once again, in yoga, I mean, they're learning the motions, but I don't necessarily see them teaching people how to transfer it throughout their life. But relatively a lower impact way, right? Less injuries. There are success stories in yoga as well. But I haven't seen them help people learn individual muscle movements and how it all pieces together. But, I mean, we recommend yoga. Pilates has, the more I learn about Pilates, the more similarities I learn to MoveU. But Pilates requires, driving in somewhere and machines and fucking springs and Pilates. But, I mean, I definitely started to see a lot of value with Pilates, a lot more. You guys want to know anything else? I'm up here.